We use specific devices to condition power that is supplied to our computers and to provide a backup power supply should AC power fail completely. So surge protection and battery backup devices filter AC input to computers and their peripherals, can provide backup power when AC current fails. They are installed between house current and the computer, and they generally fall into three categories: surge suppressors, power conditioners, and uninterruptible power supplies, also called UPSs. So let's look at surge suppressors first. Surge suppressors provide a row of electrical outlets and a switch which protects the computer from spikes or surges on power lines. And the best surge suppressors will also have jacks for the phone, because lightning can come through power lines but can also come through phone lines. So the phone jack protection on a surge suppressor will also protect the computer modem and other components that are connected to the modem from a spike on a telephone line. The degree of protection is measured in joules, and we should look for at least 240 joules of protection. To condition power and provide consistent power to a computer, we use a power conditioner, which is also called a line conditioner. And a power conditioner protects against spikes and then also conditions power, providing a continuous voltage during brownouts. In other words, what a power conditioner does is as power goes through it, it holds some power so that it can provide clean and consistent power to the computer and absorb any spikes or surges or brownouts, which are also called sags, from the power company. In other words, as the power from the power company goes up and down, the power conditioner is supplying consistent power to the computer and absorbing those ups and downs of power. To provide a backup of power if AC were to fail completely, we use a UPS. Now, UPSs fall into two general categories, standby and inline, but both categories are designed with the same purpose in mind, which is to provide about 5 or 10 minutes for the computer to shut down normally without crashing. This can keep us from losing data and can also keep us from damaging sensitive electrical components. Let's look at each of the types of UPSs. A standby UPS quickly switches from an AC power source to the battery-powered source during a brownout or a power outage. This switch must be incredibly quick because the computer can't notice the change in power. The advantage of a standby UPS is that the batteries can be changed without shutting down a server, since the electrical current is not going through the battery during the time that, as long as there is AC power, the electrical current is not going through the battery, so we can change out an old battery. But the disadvantage is we are relying on the switch to move incredibly quickly. An inline UPS continually provides power through the battery-powered circuit, so the computer is always running off the battery, so it doesn't require any switches and it ensures continuous power to the user. The only disadvantage of an inline UPS is that the server has to be shut down to change out an old battery. But with battery technologies improving all the time, most companies are choosing inline UPSs because that way they don't have to rely on a switch in the event of a power failure. If you're in charge of buying a UPS, some other things to keep in mind would be the UPS rating should exceed your total volt amperage, or what's also called wattage, by at least 25%. Be aware of the degree of line conditioning that the UPS provides. And then also consider other benefits and features such as low battery detection, which lets you know that a battery might need to be replaced. Now, it's possible for electricity to cause a fire, so we need to know a little bit about fire extinguishers and the best fire extinguishers to have around computers, and we'll discuss that in our next section.